So we're back now. We are looking at all the horses that are racing, currently racing, which isn't that many, and how many of them are close to racing, which is a lot. So I did them in alphabetical order. I'm going to do the whole list today. I'm not going to go by barns. I'm going to give you every horse alphabetically. I don't think I missed any. Please tell me if I did. Cut me some slack. Every day it's a different format. I should have my book here. I should have all the horses written down, but I don't, and I didn't. But I will. But for today, we're going in alphabetical order. So the first horse that's almost ready to go is American League. He's under 2 weeks away from the races. Kevin is really, I don't want to say he dragged his feet, but he's really taking his time getting American League back. He looked great training the other day. He looks the same way he did, but I thought he earned a rest, and we gave it to him. So American League is almost ready. Art Seeker, I put him on this list. I don't really know if he's 2 weeks away. I know he had a month off. I actually think he's a little longer than 2 weeks away. For those of you, we talked about Art Seeker. Art Seeker is on that dispersal list, and he can only get off that list by racing good when he comes back. I'm going to give him 2 or 3 starts, and then he will potentially be sold at that point. Next, we have Boston Glide. Boston Glide's making his start tonight, which would be on the weekend, a couple of days ago for you probably. Making his first start back tonight at Flamborough. Tried to qualify him without hobbles on. Didn't go over well. Now, we did school him in 2-1 or 2-2 without hobbles on, and someday he will race without hobbles on, but it's not today, it's not tonight, but it will be someday. He is racing tonight at Flamborough Downs. Canale Hanover's close to coming back. Here's a funny thing. Canale Hanover was one of the big 3 at 2. Lawmaker, Cruising in Style, Canale Hanover. People kind of forget that. And Canale Hanover, we had a lot of really high hopes for at 3, and he was horrid. He was horrible. We stopped with him, and I told the majority owner of the horse, Eric, a friend of mine, I said, listen, he's bad. You know, you sell him, you're going to get a fraction of what he should be worth, and I can't really tell you why he's bad, but he's bad. So, there's Fan the Flames right there. So, we turned him out, we gelded him, we brought him back. He looks good. Jason trained him the other day, said he trained fantastic. He's inside of 2 weeks before he's ready to go, I believe. Very close. Dancing at Midland, I qualified him back on Thursday for Kevin. He was sound. He was good. So he's going to start racing another horse that's kind of finding his way onto that dispersal list. He just didn't pan out as a 3-year-old the way we hoped, and that's, unfortunately, I don't mean to downplay it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And, Dancing at Midland was a good 2-year-old. We had high hopes for him at 3. He just didn't come back the way we hoped. But that doesn't mean he can't win some races, hopefully, for us before we move him along. But he'll start next week. Fan the Flames qualified. And everybody said, geez, Fan the Flames still a little bumpy. You said he wasn't. Well, it was the middle of that snowstorm that brought all this. And he had, so any of you out there that understand horse racing, he had a full sweat shoe on with 0 grab. And he was trotting through 1.5 inches of snow. And usually we have trotting shoes. They get a little more weight. They have grab on them to race, and he had none. So Fan the Flames did his job very well. Still qualified in 2 minutes on a crappy track, and looked good doing it. I still have high hopes for this colt. I liked the way he trained last week. 2 weeks ago, I was happy with the way he qualified and excited to get him in to go next week. Jalona raced horrible her last start. We give her a week in the field. She's in to go Monday at Grand River. We dropped her in for $8,500 with allowances. She still goes for $13,000 or $14,000, and she schooled well the other day. I think she'll be good on Monday. Master Saver, probably one of the most impressive horses training back. He looked fantastic. Here's a horse that fell apart just because he was lame at the midway through his 3-year-old season, but tough. Wanted to do his work. I like horses that want to work. They don't have to be great, but they have to be durable. They have to be tough. They have to, get up in the morning and look. This horse never looked to get out of his work once. He made a lot of breaks because he was sore, but never ever looked to get out of his work. We brought him back, or turned him out, brought him back. Man, oh man, he looked awesome training the other day. Master Saver is getting very close to being ready to go. Lincoln James fallen back a little bit, had some rough luck. He raced awesome when we first got him. Then he got way up high in the classes, and he just drew the outside, got a tough trip. Then last week he got away 5th, and I thought Jody might move him, but not the end of the world. He didn't, and he ended up 5th, I think. He's picked a win tonight out of the 8-hole with me driving him. So as you can see, he's dropped down in class again. He won't be staying in if he gets away 5th tonight. So Lincoln James is racing tonight at Mohawk. Pay of the Line Blue Chip, you may have forgot about her. I almost did, and I almost own all of her. She had some issues. We were going to stop with her, and the last time we raced her, she came up a little sore after the race, so we did stop with her. Put her in the pool to bring her back. She's down in the London area, Princeton area, with Travis Henry and his girlfriend, wife now. Yeah, wife, I'm sorry. Maddie Henry has her with her husband Travis, and they're going to race her down in London for us. I think she'll be qualifying next week, I assume. Real Willie, another horse that raced bad his last two. We gave him a week off, brought him back. He schooled well the other day. He'll be in to go at Mohawk next week. Sally DeVee, yes, Sally DeVee is a horse. These are the horses racing. I apologize, there's two lists. The horses that are racing or about to race, and then these ones are about to qualify. Anyway, I guess I screwed it up a bit. Sally DeVee, we put on the sale board, but since we put her on the sale board, she's raced awesome. She was second in both of her last two starts. Paced in 57 or 58 the other night on a crappy track. Very good. I was impressed with her. She raced good, come first over. I'm really surprised she hasn't sold, to be honest, because she's well worth the money we've been asking for. Sally DeVee, very happy with her last two starts. Now, two horses that are not on the site, but are definitely horses in our care that are very important, are Mystical Mission and If You Knew Susie. Now, If You Knew Susie finished second last week, raced good. Nice little filly, does her work. She's racing in the condition claiming ranks in London at Flamborough. Kevin has her and does a great job with her. And the filly raced good last week. Nothing really to report. She's going to continue to race herself through those ranks, and then we'll make a decision on her, obviously, Daryl and I, as she gets closer to that saturation point of earnings. Mystical Mission, a horse that really carried the stable for a good month and a half last year at Christmas time. Geez, it looked like he was going to be an open trotter, and I'd said to Daryl, this guy's destined to race in the open. He just kind of slid a little bit, ended up being not a condition claimer generally, but in the condition claiming ranks around 30, 40,000. That non-winner is a 10 to 20 range, and it had done well. I think he's got, I think he's made decent money for Daryl, and just been a nice horse. We gave him some time off to rest and brought him back, and he is ready to go now. He qualified in 58 on that crappy day at Mohawk. He'll be ready to race in about a week's time. So Mystical Mission, another horse we're getting ready to look for. That's 21 horses. We only have like 2 or 3 racing right now. 21 will be racing in the next week. Here's some 2-year-olds that never got, well, one qualified last year. That's really it. No, 2 qualified last year in racing. We gave these horses time off to mature and grow and come back, and they're back and ready to go. We'll start with one that looks ultra impressive so far training, and that's Be My Delight. Do you remember Be My Delight? Little tiny Better's Delight filly, man. Oh man, she looked good training the other day. Kevin has got her really good. She's sound, she's healthy, she looks like $1 million. She's ready to go. I believe he trained her in 2.4 or 2.5. I think she's ready to go this week, or maybe he's going to wait a week and then go with her. But Be My Delight is right on the doorstep of being ready to go. Better Call Mike, same position. I think he trained him in 2.4 or 2.5. He said to me he wants to back them off a week, which is fine. So they won't go next week. They'll go the week after, I believe. Cruising in Angus has already qualified. We gave him time off just because he's sick a couple of times. We just kicked him out in the field, brought him back. Kevin loves this trotter. He said he really likes him. He thinks he's going to be really effective. He's trained him in 2.5 at this track, which is impressive, because if you can remember, he used to get rough and out of gear and run in the turns. Now he looks good. He still runs in a little bit, but not like before. Just looks like a mature horse about to turn 3. Really happy with how he looks. Horse I'm not happy with is King of the Ball. He's about to exit the stable, I believe. Schooled him the other day, and I was not happy with him. I sent a message to our clients. Now some were like, okay, get rid of him, and others are like, well, what if we turn him out? I'm gonna poll our clients, our owners of King of the Ball again. If we want to turn him out, that's fine. My reason for wanting to sell him, I just hit that mic, does it matter? No. My reason for wanting to sell him was simple. I treat everybody's money like it's my money. If I think I can turn a horse out and see an improvement when it comes back, if I can see that there just needs to be some maturity there, then by all means I'll stick up for the horse and we'll turn him out. I don't know that I see that with this horse. I'm not positive that I'm not comfortable that I would see a real good improvement from this horse. So I was a little hesitant to turn him out, and I pushed the sale button. Before we make any sales, I will reach out to our clients again and poll them. If they want to keep them, I'll turn them out. And I'm not saying I wouldn't. Just as I said, when it comes to my money, if it was my money in that horse, I would sell him. So King of the Ball is really on thin ice here. at TheStable.ca. A horse that's also kind of on thin ice, but schooled decent the other day was RV LeBron. I was a little surprised. We trained him down. He stopped making breaks. He was trotting good. Put him into qualify. Run, run, run. Which I was a little surprised with, but we schooled him the other day and he was much, much better. There's a horse that actually would benefit from being turned out a little bit. I'd like to race him a couple of times, and if he shows any sort of talent, I think I will probably turn him out, because he could turn into be a decent horse. As I said last week, I don't think he's a stake horse, but an effective horse does not have to be a stake horse. And if RV LeBron's going to be okay, he'll stick around, and if he's not, he's got to leave too. Stolen Dance, my girl, Stolen Dance. So that's a very well-bred Muscle Hill filly. She's safe for obviously a different reason. She's a horse we'd probably look into breeding at some point. I trained her the other day, schooled her the other day in 2.6 at Mohawk. Not very fast yet, but she got a big frame on her, and I think she's got a lot of growing to do. So Stolen Dance is safe for now. I don't even want to qualify her until I know she can go lots, because she's well-bred. She's by Muscle Hill. A lot of the yearlings by Muscle Hill mares this year sold for a lot of money and look great at the sales. So she's probably safe for a different reason. Plus, she's just a lovable horse. I really like this filly, and I cheer for her as much as anybody. Not just because I still have a piece of her, just because she's like an overachiever, and I really like horses that exhibit that quality. Another horse that exhibits that quality that is ready to go is Stonebridge Loyal. 2-2 in the snow the other day with flip-flops on. For those of you that know anything about horse racing, the flip-flops are the shoe that moves on their... It's hard to explain. It's a lot like what it sounds, a flip-flop. And she was in the snow with those the other day. Not a lot of traction on the flip-flops, yet she still showed improvement. 2-2, 28 seconds on the end of her. On the end of it, Jonathan Drury went with her and loved her. So she's ready to go. She'll be qualifying next week. So those are all the horses that are right now ready to go, or very soon ready to go. I talked to you about the ones that are ready to race now, that have raced before, that are on their way back in a previous video. Next, we'll go with all the yearlings. I'm going to run through them all and tell you what I think of them, how they're doing, what I expect from them, what I like about them, and if there's any flaws, I'll be sure to tell you about that too. Be back in just a minute with all of the yearlings.